Once our tree is planted, we need to start the pruning process. Peach trees historically have been pruned to an open center training system, and that's what we'll talk about today. When we start pruning our tree, we'd like our first branches to start approximately 18 to 24 inches above the soil line. Many times I'll use my knee and say I would like my primary scaffolds to be in this area here. Since the center of this tree will be open, we identify our first scaffolds, 3 to 5 scaffold branches, or major branches, what we call them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches that I will use to be my primary scaffolds. At that point, I will cut the remainder of the tree, top of the tree out. We cut the tree out with a beveled cut. At this point, we still have 5 scaffold branches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would prefer to have 3 rather than 5, and here I'll cut out 1 more to come with 4 scaffold branches. At this point in time, I will head or cut the tips off each of these branches, approximately a quarter of those branches. When we make a heading cut like this, we stiffen the branch. We also encourage lateral branching behind that. In many cases, a peach tree will come as an on-branch shoot, or what we call a whip. The way to prune this tree is to identify where our scaffold branches will be required in this area here. Then we go up approximately 4 to 6 inches above where those required scaffolds are and cut the tree off. The reason that we go 4 to 6 inches above where those required scaffolds are is that the top 3 or 4 shoots that will grow this spring will be very upright, will be unsuitable to be used as scaffold branches. When starting young trees off, the reason that we cut 4 to 6 inches above where we like our desired branches is because the resulting growth from a heading cut, the top 3 or 4 buds are very vigorous and upright. As we move farther away from where that heading cut would have been in the previous season, the branches get a much wider crotch angle. Crotch angles are essential for having our major scaffolds because they'll be much stronger. If we would look at the top of this tree where a heading cut was made here, we look at the top 1, 2, 3 branches are very vigorous. Those would be ones that we would remove the next season. If not, if we look at these top 3 branches, when any force is put on there, it splits into the entire tree, losing the productivity of the tree. So what we would do is we would come back in after a heading cut in the dormant season. We'd get the top 3 or 4 buds to be very vigorous. Those would be removed at a later date, allowing the tree so we would still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scaffold branches. We may move the bottom one. If we look down from the top, we have 4 scaffold branches going off in 4 different directions.